everybody, and welcome back to Creative Paper Studio. I am Cassie, and today we are doing another Temu review. So, in my last unboxing, you guys that have seen that have seen that I got a lot of like jewelry making supplies. So, I got this gold chain from them. And then I got this little container of jump rings and lobster claws and these little screw doodads and earring backs and things like that. And then I also got a bunch of charms. I have them down here, just a random mix. And then I also got a couple of these in silver and then one in gold. So today I thought I would come along and show you guys how I make dangles or charms or things like that for my journals. So I do have some that are pre-made. I will show you here. I have all of these that are pre-made that I have set and made myself, a lot of them. Some of them, like these, there's stuff like this that comes off of jewelry that's already made and put together. And then I do like the altered keys where I wrap it with wire and stuff and add chain and charms. So there's just a lot of variety here. I also make these boho beads that are really pretty and fun to play with. So lots of variety, and they're a lot of fun to make. So I thought I would go ahead, and I have pre-selected some beads. I have some other bead strands over here. Maybe we'll make an orange one or something. And then I have my tools. So, I use a needle nose plier, I use a round nose plier, and then you're going to need some kind of nipper or snipper of some kind to cut the extra off of your head pins and eye pins, and also to cut your chain. So, with all that being said, I also want to let you guys know up front before I forget to mention it that all the links to the supplies that I showed in my unboxing video for this will be listed in the description box down below. And if you're a first-time Temu buyer, there will also be a code down there for you guys that if you follow the link, you'll get 30% off of your first order. So, anyway, let's get into the fun of it. So I'm going to, and you don't need, when doing these dangles the way I do them with like the chain, you don't need very much chain at all. I usually do anywhere from like 6 to 10 little links of chain. I'm not going to count on this one. I'm just going to snip. So there we go. We've got a little piece of chain. And then let's get, this has some jump rings in it. Well, I might as well just use those. So let's get a jump ring. Okay, the jump ring seems pretty sturdy. I'm going to go ahead and add a lobster claw, and I'm going to put this at one end of my chain. Now, when playing with the jump rings, you don't ever pull them this way. You want to maneuver them side to side. That way they keep their shape. And then, so there we have that. And now I want to put a charm at the bottom here. So let's grab another little jump ring. And I'm totally gonna mess up my nail. What should we put at the bottom here? We've got a little crab, a little rose, a squirrel, a flower. This is another kind of flower. I like this one. Let's do this flower. So I'm going to stick this charm at the bottom of my chain. Again, I am moving it from, instead of pulling it open, I'm just sliding it side to side. So now we have the start of our little chain. So now we need to make some dangles to go on it. So let me slide these back into the corner. Hopefully I'm close enough and y'all can see what I'm doing. So I like to take and make a couple with the eye pin. Now the eye pin just means that it has this little loop at the end of it. And that just means that you can hang something else from it. So we have this little flower, so let's go ahead and make a pink one. So I'm just going to add a few beads. Oops. And I think I'll put one of these gold spacers on here. We'll see. I might need to go down a size in the spacer. No, that's good. And now let's do a small spacer and then the small bead on top. So that's what my dangle's gonna look like. Just play with it until you get something that you like. And then you're gonna come in and you're going to use your round nose pliers. And I go about here. There's no science in what I do. I make them all a little different, and especially when I'm doing this part and twisting the thing around. So anyway, I'm not the greatest at explaining how I do the dangles, especially when it comes to making your loop, but I do like to flip this around and then grab that little tail there, and I try and smush it in as tight as I can. That way nobody's getting poked. Sometimes it takes a little manipulating. Okay. So then you can grab this end and this end and kind of twist. That way they're both kind of facing the same direction a little bit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab another jump ring. And you're going to open that jump ring up. And then you're going to place your dangle on your chain. Now, if you want to, you don't have to put these on chains. You can use your dangle just as the single piece as it is. Now, they have in here some eye pins already, but they're pretty short, so I don't know if I'll be able to use those or not, just because I like the extra length. So this one has a hoop on the end of it. So I'm going to take my head pin, which is just this flat one, looks like a nail. And I'm going to take one of these tiny pink pearls. And then I'm going to put an even smaller white pearl on it. And that's all I'm going to do for that. And so I'm going to come in here I'm going to bend my head pin, bring it back onto itself, and then I'm going to wrap. And I like to wrap it around a few times. You don't have to wrap it, but I feel that it makes it more secure and it's not gonna come apart as easy. And then just go in and snip off your extra. Make sure you're holding onto your extra piece because you don't want that to go flying and hit you in the eye. And then I just come back in and smush that tail down as best I can. Sometimes I gotta re-grab a hold of it with my round nose pliers and then smush it. So now that's tucked in all nice and neat. And now I'm going to take a bit of a smaller jump ring. And this one, because it's so small, I'm going to use my other pliers here to open it up. Grab a hold of that. Grab a hold of that one. And then twist to close it back up. And then I like to come back in here if I can. This one's kind of small. I like to come back in and smush the two sides together. This one's being problematic because it's so small. But I like to make sure they're lined up nice and neat. And then squeeze it so that they're together. And now we have a dangle with a dangle. So you're just going to repeat that process a couple of times, making different sized dangles and stuff. So let's put the pink one on there. And you got to make sure when you're using your head pin that your bead won't come off. If your bead, it seems like it's going to come off, that's when you come in and you use one of these little guys. And you can put that on there and that's not going to slide off. And also it's going to stop your bead from sliding off as well. So you can use those. I think I'm going to use the pink, and then I wonder what this would look like on there. No, I don't like that. So it's just a matter of playing with it. I'm going to put a smaller one of those on there, and then put that. And you can put different number of beads. You don't always have to do the same number. I like to do, for my little dangles, I just like to put like 1 or 2 on there. And then for my bigger pieces, I usually like to do at least 3. Now, as you can see, I've still got a little bit of space on there that I can spin that around, but that's getting kind of short on me. So I'm going to grab the tail with my pliers, and I'm just going to twist until it gets down there, and then make sure I smush that tail in. And the reason I flip my thing over on my round nose pliers is just because it puts it at a different angle for me, and it's easier for me to grab onto it. So we're going to grab another jump ring. And I like to put the smaller ones towards the top, and then bigger dangles towards the bottom. That way it kind of goes from small to bigger. And on these charms, like these chain charms like this, I like to do at least 3 dangles or so. And I usually only do one of the eye pins that has the extra dangle on it. I usually only do one of those per project. So I'm got another eye pin here. And obviously I'm going to stick with the white or the pink theme. But I think I'm going to start with a white bead this time. And then I'll do maybe the darker pink. Those beads are about the same size. Okay, let's do the lighter pink. So see, it takes you just playing around with it. And this one, I'm going to put towards the top because it is a smaller dangle. Okay. Now I'm going to use my other pliers to pull this around and tuck it in. Again, I might have to flip that over. Now, I don't claim to be a professional dangle maker, jewelry maker, whatever. I just do it the way that works for me. There's a lot of videos and stuff out there that shows, how to properly make the loops and all that stuff. And there's a technical way of, since this one's going to be towards the top, I'm going to use a bit of a smaller jump ring. Anyway, there's like a technical way of how you're supposed to bend it around your round nose pliers and stuff, and then bend it back on itself and all that. So I don't know, I've watched those videos, I've done it their way many times, but once you get into it and you start playing with the beads and stuff, you'll figure out what works for you, and they're really not difficult. It's time consuming. Obviously my nails are a little bit longer than I want them to be when I'm doing the jewelry making, because as you can see, when I'm playing with the jump rings and stuff, I try to use my thumbnail, this thumbnail, and all that's going to do is tear my thumb up over here on my fingernail. So my nails are longer than I would like them to be right now, but that's okay. It's just a fingernail, so if it messes up, it messes up. So I want to add a little bit more color to this. I like the pink and stuff, but I have quite a bit of chain here. So, and that's usually a longer chain than what I would normally use. So I think I'm going to take one of my little tiny beads here that came from my little thing from Temu. And then I'm going to put a black one on here. And then I'm going to put a spacer, one of these pretty spacers. And then I think I'm going to put a white one. I want a smaller spacer than that. Let's do this size. Okay. And I wonder, are these smaller than those? No, they're not. Okay, so now I'm going to do a tiny spacer, and then this tiny pink bead. I might have to get out a few more beads. I'm running out of pink. So I bend it over like so, and then I bring it back up and around, and then I like to twist it, and it's all with the wrist, and then just twist your extra piece around. So then that's where these come in hand, and you just pull that over like so. Anyway, the chain from Temu is the perfect size chain for what I like to use it for. You know, again, that's all going to be personal preference, but it works great for adding the dangles too and stuff, and the jump rings fit through it perfectly, and their jump rings seem to be really nice quality. So let's add this one. I want it hanging at a little bit different levels. So let's put this one here. Okay. So there's that, and that's looking really nice. I think maybe I should do one more small one towards the top. So for that one, all I'm going to do is take one of these small beads, put it on my head pin. I'm going to take this plain pink one and wrap that up and call that a dangle. So again, bend it over, fold it back on itself, twist it around, and then twist it around your pole or your post. In this one, obviously, I have quite a bit of extra, so I'm going to pull that off of there. I'm going to get my snippers. I'm going to get in there as close as I can, and I'm going to hold it and snip. Then I'm going to come back and pinch that in. Okay. Now we need a jump ring. Again, I'm going to get a smaller one because it's towards the top and it's on a smaller dangle. I keep trying to use my thumbnail because that's what I would normally do. Okay, open that up. Put your dangle on. I'm going to put it on this side. And then I'm going to close that up and smush. Okay, so there's that. And if you want to, and I sometimes do, I'll add another charm at the top because, you know, I got the charm hanging there, and then I've got the little bead dangles, and I can add another charm to the top. So that's a flower, so we could do a flower or a butterfly. I thought I had a small butterfly in here. Let's see here. Here's a small butterfly. So and there's no rhyme or reason to this. You just do what you like and what appeals to you. Goodness, my jump ring's trying to jump away. So, oops. I'm just going to attach this to that top jump ring there so it stays right at the top for me. Give that a pinch. And then there we have it. We have a beautiful pink and gold dangle with a flower and a butterfly on it. Now, if you wanted to, you could make this dangle that we just made into a glue topper for your glue bottle simply by, instead of attaching that top jump ring to the lobster claw, you would attach it to a stainless steel eye pin. And the reason it has to be stainless steel is because stainless steel won't rust. If you put any other kind of pin into your glue, that's going to rust, it's going to clog up your glue, and it's also going to tint your glue a different color that you don't want it to be. So if you're going to make a glue topper out of this, be sure it is a stainless steel eye pen. But anyway, that is that. And I used, again, this cute little kit here from Temu. Absolutely has everything in there you would need. It's got the 3 different sizes of jump rings. It's got the little stopper pieces to keep it from falling out. It's got your earring backs. It's got some short little eye pins for you. It's also got these little clasps that are usually for making bracelets or necklaces. I use them for making little dangles for my journals. And then these little screw things, I'm going to use to make some of my own charms, I think. And I'm going to try and do that by using hot glue. That may be a different video that I put up, but that'll be a lot of fun to try and make. So, anyway, these jewelry products that I got from Temu are absolutely great. They are decently priced. The quality of them is the same quality that I would get from going to like Hobby Lobby or Joann's or something like that. So, again, all the information will be down in the description box below. And there'll be that link there for you guys to click on to get a 30% discount off your first order if it is your first time ordering. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed what you saw, and also subscribe to my channel so you know when other videos are coming out. Until next time, guys, stay happy, be creative, and do what you love, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!